Hello everyone, welcome to the Programming Knowledge. I hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to write our first program of Pygame. Like when we start some programming language, we will start with Hello World code. In the same way, let's write Hello World program in the today lecture. Before starting coding, let's understand a little bit more about Pygame package. The Pygame package contains a number of modules that can be used independently. There is a module for each of the device that you might use in a game. Let's see the table of packages. You can access these modules through the Pygame namespace. Let's say for an instance, pygame.display refer to the display module. Some of the modules you will use in every game. You will always have some sort of display, so the display module is essential. And you will definitely need some kind of input, right? Whether it is from the keyboard, joystick, or mouse. Other modules are less commonly used, but in combination, they give you one of the most powerful game creation tools around. It is important to note here is that not all of the modules in this table are guaranteed to be present on every platform, right? It is possible that the hardware the game is running on does not have certain capabilities, or maybe it happened that the required drivers are not installed. If these are the cases, then Pygame will set that module to none. Now let's start with Hello World program. We are going to create a Hello World script with Pygame. That's open a graphical window on your desktop and draw an image under the standard mouse cursor. Let's see first how it look like. So as you see here, the background is a library image which I have taken, and the image under the mouse is a hello world. So we are going to make this in this lecture. So to make this we require two images, one to use as a background and another to use as our mouse cursor. Any image is fine for the background, and for the mouse cursor you will need a smaller image that fits comfortably inside the background. So open your terminal and first activate the virtual environment. I have already make one in the previous video. So Conda activate games, and now I am opening a editor for writing a program. Let's start. So let's first set the file name of the images. So background image, and I have put it that image in on the desktop. So background image is equal to slash home slash Sachin slash desktop slash, and provide the file name of a background image. Now mouse image is equal to home Sachin desktop, and here you have to provide the your mouse image name. Now let's import the external module classes and function. So the first thing we have to import is Pygame package, right? Which gives us access to all of its submodules such as pygame.image and pygame.sound. So let's import Pygame. The second thing, we have to import a number of functions and constants in the top level namespace. So from Pygame dot locals import star. The last import we have to do this is import a single function from a sys module, which is nothing but a standard Python library, and that function is nothing but exit. Here you have guessed right. The purpose of exit is to immediately finish the script. Calling exit will cause the Pygame window to disappear and Python to close. The script will call exit when the user click the close button. Otherwise, the user would have no way of closing the window, right? So let's import that from sys import exit. Now we have to initialize each of the submodule in the Pygame package. It is a very important point, which may load drivers and query hardware so that Pygame is ready to use all the devices on your computer. We can also initialize only the modules you intended to use by calling the init function in each submodule individually. So, but here I am writing for all. So pygame dot init. We can do like this also, that pygame dot sound dot init, and this will initialize the sound module. Basically, this can make the script start a little quicker because only that submodule, that module you actually use will be initialized. But here I am initializing. Now, after initializing Pygame, we need to create a display surface. The display could be a window on your desktop, or it could be the entire screen, but you always access it by a Pygame surface object, right? So we have to, so screen is equal to, so there is a function called display set mode. The call to this function in our script returns the surface object representing the window on your desktop. So let's write screen is equal to Pygame dot display dot set mode, and here there is it takes three parameters. The first one is tuple containing the width and height of the display we want to create. Here I am providing the window of, let's say, 640 to 480 pixel, which is a large enough. So I am providing the tuple 640 and 480. Okay. The next parameter we give to set mode is a value containing the flag used in the display creation. We will see flag in much more detail. Here we are not enabling any flag, that's why I am passing 0, and also the default is also 0. The next parameter specify the depth of the display surface, which is the amount of bit used to store the color in the display. A bit or binary digit is the most fundamental unit of storage in a computer. We will use the value 32 for our bit depth because it gives us most of the color. So let's pass 32. If all things goes well, the calls to set mode will display a Pygame window on your desktop, and also it returns a surface object which is that I have stored in a screen variable. The first thing we do with our newly created surface is call set caption in the display module to set the title bar of the Pygame window. We can set the title to let's say hello world, just to make it a valid hello world script. So pygame dot display dot set caption and pass it hello world. Next, we have to use the load function in pygame.image to load the two images for the background and the mouse cursor. So background is equal to pygame.image.load, and here you have to pass background image. The load function basically reads a file from your hard drive and returns a surface containing the image data. These are the same type of object as our display, but they represent image is stored in memory and are not visible until we draw them to the main display. The first call to pygame.image.load reads in the background image, and then we have to call convert. So dot convert. This convert is a member function for surface object. This function converts the image to the same format as our display because it is faster to draw images if the display is of the same depth. The mouse cursor is loaded in similar way, so let's copy paste it. Yeah. But we call convert alpha rather than convert here. So let's write. This is because our mouse cursor image contains alpha information, which means that the portion of the image could be translucent or completely invisible. Now let's write main game loop. So while true, this while loop has a true as a condition, which means it will loop continually until we break out of it or force it to exit in some other way. All games will have a loop similar to this, which typically repeat once per screen refresh. Inside the main game loop, we have another loop for the event loop, which most game will also have in one form or another. So let's write for event in pygame.event.get. Basically, an event is how Pygame informs you that something has happened outside your code. Events are created for many things, from key presses to receiving information from the internet, and are queued up for you until you handle them. The function get in the pygame eve.event module returns any event waiting for us, which we then loop through in a for loop for this script. For this script, we are only interested in quit event, which is generated by Pygame when the user clicks the close button in the Pygame window. So if event.type is equal to quit, then we can exit. So if the event type, so yeah, and all the other event are ignored. In a game, of course, we would have to handle a greater number of event. Now let's copy the background image to the screen. So there is a function that is dot bleed. So screen dot bleed. Bleed, basically the bleed member function of the screen surface object, which takes a source image, in this case our background, and a tuple containing the destination position. So I am passing here background, and here let's say we are going to bleed to the coordinate 0 0, which is the top left of the screen, and the background will never move, right? We just want it to cover the entire Pygame window, so we can bleed to the coordinate 0 0, which is nothing but a top left of the screen. So provide it here 0 0. Yeah. After we draw the background, we want to draw mouse cursor underneath the usual mouse pointer. So getting the position of the mouse is nice and simple. The pygame.mouse module contains all we need to work with the mouse, including get position, which returns a tuple containing the mouse coordinate. So let's x comma y is equal to pygame.mouse.getPos. It basically, the first line unpacks this tuple into value for convenience x and y. We could use these two values as coordinate when we bleed the mouse cursor. But that would place the top left corner of the image under the mouse, and we want the center of the image to be under the mouse, right? So we can do a little bit of math to adjust xy so that the mouse image is moved up by half its height and left by half its width, and using these coordinate places the center of the image right under the mouse pointer, which looks better. So we can do something like x minus is equal to mouse point cursor dot get width divided by 2, and same for height. Blitting the mouse image is done in the same way as blitting we have done blitting in the background, but we use coordinate xy here in place of 0 0. This is enough to create the effect we are looking for, but there is one more thing we have to do before we can see anything, which is nothing but pygame.display.update. When you build an image through bleeds to the screen surface, you won't see them right away. This is because Pygame first build up an image to a back buffer, which is an invisible display in memory before it is displayed. If we did not have this step, the user would see individual bleeds as they happen, which would flicker most unpleasantly. For games programmer, flicker is nothing but an enemy, right? We want to see a silky smooth convincing animation. Fortunately, a call to one function that is nothing but pygame.display.update is all we need to ensure that image we have created in memory is shown to the user without flicker, right? So let's run the code and see that we are able to generate output or not. So let's run the code. Yeah, the code runs fine and it is able to generate the output what we want. So I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and thank you.